The story of Lot and Sodom. That evening, as the sun was going down and shadows stretched across the streets of Sodom, Lot was sitting at the city gate. The gate was not just a place to sit. It was where decisions were made, where visitors passed through, and where the heart of the city could be seen. Lot had lived in Sodom long enough to know its ways. He knew its noise, its pride, its pleasure, and its hidden darkness. Yet on this night, something felt different in the air. As Lot looked up, he saw two men walking toward the city. They looked like travelers, dusty from the road, quiet and calm. But there was something about them that made Lot rise to his feet immediately. His heart stirred. His spirit sensed danger, not from the men, but from the city they were about to enter. Lot hurried toward them, bowed low with his face to the ground, and spoke with deep respect. "My lords," he said, "please come to my home. Wash your feet. Rest for the night. You can leave early in the morning." The men answered calmly, "No, we will spend the night here in the city square." At that moment, fear filled Lot's heart. He knew what happened in Sodom after dark. He knew the kind of men who came out when the sun went down. He knew what strangers were not safe from. So Lot insisted. He pleaded. He would not take no for an answer. Finally, the men agreed. Lot took them home, prepared a meal, baked fresh bread, and served them with care. For a brief moment, there was peace inside the house, light, warmth, and safety. But outside, darkness was gathering. Before they could even lie down to sleep, the noise began. Footsteps, shouting, angry voices. Men from every corner of the city, young and old, surrounded the house. The crowd grew thick. Their words were violent. Their desires were wicked. They shouted at Lot, "Where are the men who came to your house tonight? Bring them out to us so we can sleep with them." Lot's heart sank. He stepped outside and closed the door behind him, standing alone between his home and a violent crowd. "Please, my brothers," he begged, "do not do such a wicked thing." Lot was desperate. His thinking was clouded by fear. In his panic, he made a terrible offer, one that showed just how twisted the city had become and how trapped Lot himself was. He tried to protect his guests at any cost. But the men of Sodom were not interested in reason or mercy. "Stand back," they shouted. "This man came here as a stranger, and now he wants to judge us? We will treat you worse than them." They rushed toward Lot, ready to break down the door. That was when everything changed. The two men inside the house reached out with supernatural strength. They pulled Lot inside and slammed the door shut. Then, in one instant, they struck the crowd with blindness. Young men, old men, strong men, proud men, all of them were suddenly helpless. They groped in the dark, confused and frustrated, unable to find the door they had just tried to break. Eventually, they gave up and stumbled away. Inside the house, the truth was revealed. The men turned to Lot and spoke plainly. "Do you have anyone else in this city? Sons-in-law? Daughters? Anyone at all? Get them out now. This city is about to be destroyed. The cry of its evil has reached the Lord, and judgment has been sent." Fear rushed through Lot's body. He ran through the streets, knocking on doors, pleading with his daughter's fiancés. "Hurry, leave the city. God is about to destroy this place." But they laughed. They thought he was joking. They thought judgment was a story. They thought tomorrow would come as usual. They stayed behind. At dawn, the angels returned to Lot with urgency in their voices. "Hurry, take your wife and your two daughters who are here. Leave now, or you will die in the destruction." Still, Lot hesitated. Years of comfort, years of compromise, years of living among wicked people had slowed his obedience. He knew God was speaking, but his feet were heavy. So God did something powerful. The angels grabbed Lot's hand. They grabbed his wife's hand. They grabbed the hands of his two daughters, and they dragged them out of the city. The Bible says this happened because the Lord was merciful. Not because Lot was strong, not because he was fast, but because God was kind. Outside the city, the angels gave one final command. "Run for your lives. Do not look back. Do not stop in the valley. Escape to the mountains, or you will be destroyed." Lot, still afraid, still unsure, begged again. "My Lord, please. I cannot make it to the mountains. Disaster will catch me. Let me go to that small village nearby. It is very small. Let me go there so I may live." God agreed. "Go," the angel said. "I will not destroy that village. But hurry. I can do nothing until you arrive." As the sun rose over the horizon, Lot entered the small town called Zor. And then it happened. Fire fell from the sky. Burning sulfur rained down on Sodom and Gomorrah. Cities collapsed. Lives ended. The land burned. Everything that once looked strong, wealthy, and proud was wiped away in a moment. But as they fled, something heartbreaking happened. Lot's wife looked back. Her body was moving forward, but her heart was still behind. She looked back at the life she loved, the comfort she missed, the city she could not let go of. And in that moment, she became a pillar of salt. She escaped the city, but not its grip on her heart. Far away, Abraham stood on a hill early that morning. He looked toward the plain where Sodom and Gomorrah once stood. Thick smoke rose like a furnace. But God remembered Abraham's prayer. God remembered mercy, and God saved Lot. This story is not just about fire and judgment. It is about choices, delay, mercy, and obedience. Here are 5 lessons from the story. 1. A corrupt place will eventually corrupt the soul. Lot lived among evil long enough that his judgment became weak. Where you live spiritually matters. 2. God's warnings are real, even when people laugh. The sons-in-law laughed. By morning, it was too late. 3. Delayed obedience is dangerous obedience. Lot hesitated, but God's mercy pulled him out anyway. 4. You can leave a place and still look back. Lot's wife teaches us that salvation requires both movement and surrender. 5. God's mercy is stronger than human weakness. Even when Lot was slow, God was kind. This is a story of a God who judges sin, but also rescues the hesitant, the weak, and the slow to obey. It is a warning, it is a mirror, and it is a call. When God says, run, do not look back, do not negotiate, and do not delay. Because mercy is offered, but judgment does not wait forever. If this Bible story blessed you, please like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more Bible stories and teachings.